so I was a little sick. Actually, I just got over the flu.
Oh my. Well, what do you think? What could it have been? The change of the weather, or any virus, or what happened?
Well, actually, last week I went to Guadalajara and I live in Puerto
Hi.
Vallarta, so I guess actually like just the weather differences that could have applied to, or that could actually help out to making me sick.
That's it. All right. Well, take care. Of course, you are having some medicine, or have you visited the doctor?
Yes, I
Oh,
did. I went to a doctor. I'm already taking medicine. I think I'm just getting over it by 3 more days, I guess. And then I guess I'll be better. I still have a little sore throat. So if you hear me a little hoarse, so that's because of that.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Nixie, hello. How are you?
hi. I'm fine. I hope you can hear me. I broke my earphones last week, and I'm not sure if these work as well as the old ones.
Well, yes, we can listen to you. So don't worry. We can hear you. All right.
I also sorry because I couldn't be here last meeting, but I have to go to Alto Tonga for work,
Mm.
and I couldn't came back until Wednesday.
That's it. All right, don't worry, it's okay. You know what? Anyway, the link for the conversation class is in the social net, I guess. I'm going to send you also the links to your email. All right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. You know what? Today we are going to talk about holidays and traditions. It's going to
Okay.
be a very nice topic. So, Oscar,
Yeah.
please, could you talk to me about traditions? What for you? What is the importance that traditions have in a society?
Well, tradition actually lets people know where you're from and also let people know what you believe and mostly your beliefs and also like the way you think. Not only you, but I mean as a society, like in a group of people. So that's why, like, I mean, in this case, if you are like from a certain region, so that will let me know how the people behave, why the people behave in a certain way in a specific place, or also that would tell me the way they think. So, so I guess it is very important.
That's it. It's kind of like identity, isn't it?
It is. It is the identity. Yes, exactly.
Excellent. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, Nixie, what do you think about traditions? What's your opinion about it?
Well, I think that yes, it's a reflection of your identity. It shows the world your culture and your beliefs.
That's it. All right. Yes. Thank you very much. That was a very good opinion, also. So, you know what? Let's see now this question. Can you mention and explain any tradition in your hometown or in a place that you know? Oscar, could you please?
Well, actually, in January, I don't recall exactly the date, but I think it is on January 11th when they celebrate a saint in the place where I come from. So, but actually, one of the things that makes it different from the different traditions when you celebrate a saint from all the different regions around Mexico is that they bring. That's the only day when they bring their animal, their favorite animal, and they bring it to church, and that animal is blessed. So then, and they usually like since animals are not allowed because that would be disrespectful to bring them into a church. So people dress them up with clothes or they put them hats. So it's funny to see all those animals like with little hats or with glasses or in a funny way, and but they bring the favor because you go to church and actually you ask for protection for your favorite animal. And some of the times they bring their animal that also brings them some profit, like a cow or even goats or pigs or any other kind of animals that will bring them a profit or not only just a favor like a pet. So it's funny to see all of these things. Many people might feel it's kind of weird, but it has happened through generation by generation. So, and it is part of me as well.
Hey, that's beautiful. I have heard something about that, but not with that detail. So thank you very much. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, many people just laugh at the fact that actually like breaking the animals, like dressing them up, and then but I find it quite amusing.
Yeah, they must look really beautiful, really nice.
Yeah.
Hey, that's great. Time ago, I went to a celebration here in September the 16th, and I saw a person
Uh-huh.
was dressing up his dog with a dress, kind of like Jalisco
Hmm.
dress, and hat, and it really looked, he loved it. Okay, well, thank you very
Yeah.
much, Oscar. Now let's listen to Mixie.
Okay.
Eh,
First, I have a question. Where are you
yes.
from?
Well, I'm from a little ranch that is from Jalisco. That is like
Oh,
30 minutes before Aguascalientes. That is the area from Los Altos. But actually, like my town's name is Ajojuca, and and the county where it belongs to is Teocaltiche.
oh, okay. Yeah, because I've never heard of that tradition.
So maybe you have heard of Los Altos, Jalisco. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I'm from.
Oh,
Yes, and I think it is a very unique tradition because I haven't seen it. I have traveled to different places, but I have never seen it like the way that it's being held, uh, like being performed at different places where I have gone to.
okay.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Oscar.
So
All
now
right.
my tradition.
All
Well,
right.
I'm from Tuxpan, and over there on December 7th, there's there's a tradition where um, all the lights of the city are turned off, and you place or you make a path of candles to light the path of the little Jesus. I don't know, El Niño Jesús. um, I don't really know when that began, but every December 7th you have all the lights off and all the candles on, and you have kids making carton with carton boxes, little cars or even boats to go looking for Jesus.
Wow. Hey, that's beautiful. That's so beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's even a contest about that,
Wow.
because
Oh, really?
yeah, uh, you have the big plaza of the city. All the kids bring their creation, and they have a
Uh-huh.
contest, and I think the presidency give them an award or money. I don't really sure, but there's a parade of cartoon cars and a contest
Oh, so
on
that's a
the
big
same.
thing. I
Uh,
was thinking that it was just something that you would do inside your family, like in your house or something. But I see that like the whole town does it,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It's
So,
a really big production wise event.
yeah. How come I have never seen a broadcasted or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't know why we don't have that. But even here in Jalapa, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it's because there's a lot of foreign students. At least some or most of us are from Tuxpan or Costa Rica, and
Mhm.
here in Los Lagos, the same thing is happening on December 7. The whole um, lake is covered in candles.
Oh, I
Yeah,
was in Costa Rica once, but I never heard of anything like that before. But I mean, I
R-
only stayed there for a year.
Really?
Yeah,
well, but actually, what you are mentioning is in Jalapa, isn't it, Mixi?
Well, the tradition originally came from the north of Veracruz, Tuxpan, Papantla, and Costa Rica, and
Ah,
now it's happening here in Jalapa.
wow. You know, I went to Jalapa time ago and I didn't have well, I was not lucky enough to see that, but I think I will go one of these days. When did you say it is? In December the 2nd?
No, December 7th.
and six,
Ah, December
seven.
7th.
7th. Hey, that's nice. You know what? What you mentioned, Mixi, and what you mentioned, Oscar, is really beautiful. I think it's worthwhile to go and visit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Hey,
think that actually, like, by having all of these traditions, it is telling the world that we are unique, that we have some things that other people don't have, and that we can share, and at least we have something extra, right? Something that makes
that's
it special.
yeah, I agree with you.
and you know what? Today we were supposed to be thinking about also some other traditions in some other parts of the world, but for me it attracted my attention that even in Mexico we have many different situations that we don't know. Many beautiful traditions are
Exactly.
unknown for some people.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I've never visited another country, because I have the feeling that first I need to know my country, my place, and our traditions.
Yeah, but
You're right. I mean,
yeah.
I once visited the U.S. and then I remember that I was introduced to a girl and she was from Russia, and then she was shocked to see because I went there by November. So then
Mm-hmm.
she was shocked by watching on TV that we were having a what she called a picnic on the cemetery,
Okay.
and then and because we were celebrating the Day of the Dead, and then for her she was really impressed by that. She said that she had never seen like so many people at a graveyard, and then like eating, like listening to music, dancing, and then having having a meal over there. And then she was like, "How can you be eating right next to a corpse?" And
Yeah.
then so then she didn't understand that. She was like, "I would never think of having a picnic in a cemetery." And then, and
Well,
then obviously like and when she started asking me questions, and then she said like, and then I told her that actually for us, well, that we saw it in a different way. That it was not really like that somebody died. That it's only like a path that everyone has to go through, and that we go there and make company to the ones that we once cared when they were alive, and we were bringing them their stuff. I mean, the things that they really cared when they were alive, just to make them feel for us a little bit more alive. And but then she started asking me questions in regards to it, and I was not able to answer because I didn't know exactly like how it started, and then also I didn't know like why we were having so many symbols and what they represented. And I felt I felt bad about it. I felt like I was like, how come I don't know much about my own country?
Yeah,
uh-huh.
I
And
know.
And like you were saying, so it's like we have so many different traditions, and then people from other parts they don't know, and then since they reflect who we are, so then it is funny that we're not really into it.
Yeah, that's it. You know what? I went to Indiana. I was there from October the 17th from to November the 22nd. So I was there in Halloween, and
Mhm.
I could see also the tradition they do. But I was asking people, what did it make me? What? Why did you do that? And nobody knew how.
Nobody really know why.
Yeah, they said. I used to ask, please tell me, for you, what is Halloween? What's the origin of the tradition, and why do you?
Uh-huh.
He told me, well, Halloween is a very nice party when you wear costumes and we have a lot of candy. Why do you do that? Because we want to have fun, and that was the general answer. So I was making research about the origin of the celebration, and I found very interesting information about Romans, Celts, English people, and some others, but they didn't know about that. So I was explaining them why it was like that, their tradition. Something like that.
Actually, I
Yeah.
think that actually that's a very common thing to happen. They usually it is a foreigner, or foreigners are the ones teaching the one from their own country about their traditions and customs. Because since you don't know, so you try to see like why they're doing those things, so you start investigating, and they just do it just because it is a tradition. So then they have done it like from generation to generation. So
But
then they don't ask more questions. They just go and go with
but
the flow.
but I think at least with Dia de Muertos, we as a culture we have an insight about what's the meaning or what are the origins of our tradition. I mean, maybe we don't know specific things about, I don't know,
Yeah.
the seven, I think,
Yeah, I did
steps to
understand.
go
I
to
did
heaven, but
understand like what exactly. I did
that,
understand like why we the purpose of it, because
yeah,
like because we've been told about it, but I didn't know like why we had so many symbols, why they had like the different crosses with different materials. There was a cross with salt, another cross with I think it is coal, and some other characteristics in the altars, so that I was not able to answer those questions. And like you're saying, like probably like a specific things we're not able to answer, right?
yeah, but at least we know the, I mean, the basics. It's not just, it's a custom party, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Even
We
though a
have
lot of people
more
take it for
knowledge than
drinking
that.
as well.
Yeah.
But you know what? I am really worried because the new generations, most of them don't know about what is the origin and what do we do and what's the real tradition. Now we have already mixed up a lot of tradition in ours. For example, now we go doing the trick or treat, we wear customs, and that was not the original tradition. But
But I think that's because bilingual schools are becoming more popular, and I don't know, it's the traditions are mixing because of that. Because I have nephews and nieces that go to bilingual schools, and they have to make the altar and like and do a calaverita and something like that. But at the same time, they have to learn about Halloween and dress up. So I think that's the case for us. The fact that we are mixing the
Now that
the
you're
education
mentioning
systems
school,
and
sorry,
yes.
Aura. So now that you're mentioning schools, actually, I do believe that it has to do with education. So the way that it is being taught at school, the way that these things are being passed, and also like the that the schools need to teach their children to be inquisitive, to start asking questions for every single thing, not just simply take things for granted or this is it and just take it. So no, no, no. So we need to start. we need to start asking more questions, and not to be. And usually our education has told us to this is what it is, and that's it. But I mean, so if our education system goes into this and they start not only telling us, but also like they start letting us know how to ask questions, and that we can ask as many questions as we can. So probably like we can get to the bottom of all of this.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, you're right.
I never thought about it, but yeah.
Yeah, that's it. We don't explain a lot of things, and we are supposed to be transmitting those not only knowledgement but also uses.
Yeah.
Also,
But
what?
Not only the acknowledgement but also the uses,
Ah, okay, yeah.
what we used to do and why. All right. So look at this. Now, can you talk to us about any tradition, any other place in the world? For example, here we have a travel, a camel travel by the desert here. Or here we have a ceremony, an engagement ceremony in Africa. Here we have a traditional breakfast or lunch at Japan. Here are the Easter eggs. I don't know. Anything that you would like to mention about any other place in the world?
Mm,
also just think it.
yeah.
I beg
I
your
don't know
pardon?
much about. I don't know much about other places' traditions. I barely know mine. So I,
Yeah, all right. So, haven't you heard about La Tomatina?
Oh yes,
What is it?
yeah,
I've heard about it. I know that it's in Spain, and I know that it's a day where they use a lot of tomatoes and they start attacking each other with tomatoes. But I don't know the reason why they do that.
Don't you know it? I know it.
no,
Mitzi?
no,
No?
I don't know. I mean, I
Well,
have heard of it, but I don't know why.
well, I have made research about it. First of all, I thought that it was because in honor of a saint or because of the harvest or fertility. And later on, as I was looking for information, I found out that the reason is that they are bored. They want to have
They
fun.
are bored.
Yep, they want to have fun, and at certain time, it's 12 o'clock in the evening, they begin to throw tomatoes, butter, and they threw tons.
So then it has to do with fertility and
Yeah,
also just to have fun.
yeah, just to have fun. And that's a waste of food
So
because
it's like the melon race here in Jalapa.
the melon race, what is it?
Yeah, it's been happening for I think 10 years now, and it's on September 16. I I think a couple of students were bored and they have melones. They have melons and they decided to throw it down the one of the ah ho- I forgot how to say one of the bridges of the city, and just waited to look who was the fastest melon. And I don't know how that became popular, but now they dress the melons and they have like prizes and sponsors and uh, sort of different things. And I don't know. Now it's a thing.
Wow. Hey, I didn't know that. Where does it happen? In the bridge of Halitik or?
Exactly.
My goodness. Hey, that seems
Yeah.
funny.
So random, but so funny.
Oh my. And when did you say it happens?
uh, on September 16th.
September 16. I promise
Yes,
to be
it's
there.
after the Independence parade.
That's
Independence
correct.
Day.
Yeah.
My goodness. I
So
promise to
it
be
happens
there.
does it happen in does it happen in Jalapa?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a thing. Let me look for a video of that.
Wow.
Because
Jesus Christ.
Now that you were mentioning La Tomatina, I recall there's another one that is very famous in Spain, which is in Pamplona,
Mm.
and the running of bulls.
Oh, yeah.
When they release the bulls, and then people are running through the streets. So in order not to get like in order not to
even
get hit by one of those bulls. So I think it's quite fierce, or quite, I don't know, quite savage, but still a lot of people do it, right?
Yeah, that's it. But even I
And
think it is dangerous and aggressive. It is in honor to San Fermin.
it is an honor. Oh my gosh.
In
but I
honor.
don't know, but I don't know when it is held, or and and then why they exactly do it for.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm not very sure, but I think it is in the middle of in August. Okay. Red Bull Carrera de Melones.
even Red Bull has sponsored the
Mm.
race.
Hey, that's nice. All right, let's
How
talk
come I
about.
don't see that video?
Yeah, yeah, look at this. All right, well, talking about this issue of the Pamplonada, you know what? That in Tlaxcala, here in Mexico, they have something similar that it's called the Huamantlada. And
Guamantlada.
they also do the same. They let some bulls to run freely by the city and to be chased by some people. But oh my, it's tremendous. There are many accidents every year.
Yeah, it's sad.
I bet.
Yeah, but people continue doing that. Well, I think you know what?
The same happens in Hiko.
Hiko,
But
what happens
yeah, they let out some bulls,
in
and it's
Hiko?
called yes, and it's called La Jiqueñada,
My,
obviously.
when is it?
I think it's in June, like 12 of 13 of June, July. I'm not really sure.
You know why? You know what? I love Hiko, and I go very frequently over there. But now that you mentioned that, I promise not to be there in June or July.
I mean, it's supposed to be because of the Maria. It's a pat. How do you say your saint patron, Maria
Uh,
Magdalena? The it has like 2,000 dresses, and every year they gave her another dress, and that's why they left out the bulls through the city, and they make like how do you say aserrín?
wood, wood dust. It's like wood dust.
Rocks, yes.
Wood dust. Jesus Christ. Well, I guess that the mat made of wood dust may be so beautiful, but that issue of the bulls doesn't convince me too much.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about that the traditions.
Oh my. Jesus. You know, in Oaxaca, in Juchitán, it happens the same. So I think that they have copied some traditions that seems to be very exciting, but well, in my opinion, they are not exciting. They are terrifying.
Yes.
But well, okay, let's tolerate, let's respect all the ideologies.
Yeah, respect.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. So guess what? Talking about traditions, we can also talk about weddings, for example. Here we have some of the different weddings in some countries. You mentioned that traditions are important in the social life because they are part of our identity. So, well, about weddings, I could see some different characteristics in some countries. So, do you know anything about this? For example, the weddings in India, how are they different from weddings, Jew weddings, for example,
One of
Japanese
the things
weddings?
that I remember hearing from a wedding from India is that every guest goes to have a henna tattoo on their hand, and that will be the invitation, I guess,
No, I think that's just for the bride.
just for the bride.
Yes, or
Because
the
for it's only for the
couple.
girls, right? I mean, I'm not really sure, but I remember like because I remember that I had a friend whose best friend got married and she was from India, and then that she told me, "Oh, today I can go have coffee with you because I need to go get my invitation tattoo." And I was like, "How? What do you mean that you
What?
need to get your invitation tattoo?" And then she said, "Well, it's a henna tattoo because it is an invitation that you need to go and take, and because otherwise you're not allowed to go to get into the party." I was like, "Oh, really?" But that's the only
Oh
thing that I
my.
remember from my friend saying. So, but I didn't go to the party because she was not my friend. I was not
Oh my.
invited.
You were not invited, so you didn't have your tattoo.
No, and then also like I
Oh
didn't
my.
get to see like what happened really inside of it. But I guess there's a lot of things going on. I imagine.
Uh-huh. Oh my.
But I think it's more for like to give them good look, good luck, or something.
Uh-huh. It may be, yeah, to wish them to
Yeah,
have a good life and happiness and of course um, wealthy.
because I think the priest is the one who draws the tattoos. I don't know.
Uh-huh. Well, time ago I read an article about weddings in India, and yes, I knew that there was the bride who was decorated with the henna tattoo by the sisters of the groom. But
Yeah.
I think that nowadays, even those traditions have changed and they are modified with the as it's way.
With the time.
Yes, that's it. You know what? I heard something about used weddings, and I heard that well, when they cheer up, they of course they wish happiness to the groom and bride, but you have to throw your glass cup, to the ground and crush it to break it.
Oh, really?
Really? And that's why would you do that?
Because that's the way they are going to assure that everything that you said that was in your cup is going to be forgotten. So we are going to part from the very first, from the beginning, and we are going um, to throw into the ground everything about madness or the past.
Okay, a fresh start.
Aha, kind of like that.
Okay.
I,
Well,
yes.
here the grooms drink from their shoes, so I think that's even weirder than breaking a cup.
Yeah, that's it. Guess what? I remembered also that there is a very beautiful tradition in Oaxaca. No, in Guerrero. In Guerrero, people give the bride and the groom new dishes, but they prepare also a lot of food in the mud pots. But a tradition of them is that they use to break all of the old pots.
Oh yes,
Uh-huh.
I knew about that.
Yeah. And what do you know about it, Mitzi?
Well, my brother taught me that they they made their cuisine, their dishes on the old pots, as you said, and also that they like dance with with un guajolote.
Uh-huh, with a
I,
turkey.
yeah, with a turkey, and at the end they made a dish with it, but I don't know.
Uh-huh. As a gift.
Yeah, for the couple.
Yeah, but later on, whenever they finish, they break all of the pots, and you say, "Hey, they are useful." But what somebody told me is that this custom is not only for deserving, for wishing happiness and wealth and everything, but also because that place is very poor. In that place, people need a lot to reactivate their economy, and a way to reactivate that economy they need and help people to work is that to renew their pots, to break the old ones and buy new ones. So
Oh,
I think that it is not only beautiful but also very wise.
yeah.
I don't remember, but actually, like I recall that someone is in charge of paying the wedding, right? Is it the bride's father?
Hmm. The the religious ceremony is supposed to be paid by the bride, the bride's father, and the civil celebration is paid by the groom's father.
By the grandfather. Okay. It's only that I remember that there were some standards to be followed, like it is who's the one paying for the party, who's the one paying for the reception, for the church, and all those details.
But now that doesn't always apply.
Yeah, because
Well,
well, nowadays people get a lot of people to help them pay, as Oscar said. So they have padrinos for everything.
Yeah.
that's true.
You know
For
what?
like even for cake, but I guess it is
Uh,
a way to help them out because the economy is not the same as it was before. So
I
that's
Yeah.
I went to a party last month, and they told me that they had the padrinos for soda, for drinking, for glasses, for disposable. And I said, "My
Yes.
goodness, for everything."
Almost
well,
una fiesta de traje.
That's it. That's it. Exactly.
well, maybe that will become a new tradition.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because even
I
if,
will be happy with that.
yeah, it is so comfortable.
Yeah,
You know
that will
what?
be a comfort party. Yeah,
I'm
to
going to get
be.
married. Don't you want to be my padrinos?
You're gonna get married?
Uh,
No, Jesus Christ.
no.
It's a terrible joke.
I was like, oh my
He
gosh.
was totally in.
Yes, I was going to say, okay, I'll do it. What about my grade?
Yeah, but I thought if it is so easy to have a party, then I will get married.
Probably
What?
that's one of the main purposes of it. Because nowadays people don't want to get married. Well, if they get married, they get easily divorced.
They are people is getting married because of the party, really.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that
Maybe that's what I told my brother because my brother, well, I don't wanna. I hope you don't meet him, but my brother actually like he get married already 3 times.
3 times.
Yeah.
He's a
So then there
hero.
has been like 3 weddings, 3 receptions. So then we have gone, and then like the first one it was okay, the second it was okay, and then the third one we're like okay, another party.
Yeah, that's another party. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know it attracts my attention also, that part. But nowadays, has people have something like a resistance to having any engagement. So they don't want to be formally uh, tied to a person. So what do you think is the reason for this?
I don't know.
Mm.
Actually, like I asked my brother because I was really surprised. I
Because
said,
he
like, why are
has
you?
already married.
Yeah, I was like, why are you doing this? I mean, like, why not just to stay single and then start going out with different people? And then he says, like, well, the thing is that actually, like, I thought that I have found the right person to be with for the rest of my life. But then things come out, and then I realized it wasn't at the end. He said, I would never get married just because I just want to get married and have a party. And then I said, actually, that's what I thought. but,
Yeah.
but, but then, like, actually, like, maybe that's true. Maybe people get married because they really think they have found someone, and then later realize that was not exactly the person that they wanted to live with for the rest of their lives, and no one is supposed to be unhappy.
Yeah, that's it. Well, it is supposed people is supposed to get married because they want to be to live happily forever. But
Yeah, but that happily forever it requires two people to work
uh,
harder and to work in a relationship, and because obviously, like, there will be, like, since everyone is different, there will be a lot of things to disagree about.
yeah, that's it. To have a relationship or even to get married, it's so difficult whenever you don't you are not very able to take agreements. So it's a difficult. Well, that's what I think. That I got divorced time ago, and I didn't think about remarrying because of that. I said, "Oh my, how can people do this?"
But the thing is that you can have a commitment with another person without needing to without the need to make a show about it.
To be mature. Well, I guess that it is very important whenever you decide to get married to have a very good election of the person you are going to share your life with. That's the very first point. If the person you
It is.
is not the one, so it's gonna be so difficult.
Yeah.
Uh, but
Yeah.
but you know what? I have realized that nowadays people get divorced as soon as they get married. So what do you think is the reason for that?
Well, I think people basically get divorced just because they don't love each other. Because I don't find another reason. Because if they love each other, like, they will find a way to solve the problem. Once
Yeah,
they
it
don't find
wasn't
a
really
way,
love.
yeah, I think it was probably like they were. Well, probably I cannot deny the feelings from a person and saying that they were not in love, because I never was in their position, but I guess it has to do more like how much am I willing to do for this person, and then if I don't have enough love to actually cope and deal with a lot of situations from the other person, I guess that's when the breakup comes out.
Yes, that's it. I think that it is so complex sometimes because we can find a lot of reasons. But whenever we are in the moment when we are in the problem, it's so difficult. Emiliano, welcome. How are you? Emiliano, hello.
Oh, there's someone else.
Hello, Emiliano. How are you?
Hello and bye.
Yeah, don't go, Emiliano. All right.
Hello, good
Hello.
evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Fine, and you?
We are fine, thank you. You know what? We are talking about celebrations, traditions, holidays, and well, we are just going to finish the class. But before we finish, please talk to us where you live and talk to us a very nice tradition that is held in the place where you live. All right?
Okay, I live in Mexico City, and well, here is a lot of traditions. Uh, Dia de Muertos and Independence Day, or other. I don't know. Maybe in Xochimilco there is a lot of, a lot. I think not even every day, but every month they have traditions. The tradition of for how, I don't know how to say it. They celebrate a lot of things, but I don't remember any at this time. But
You
in my delegation, there is not too much traditions. The most I know is in Xochimilco.
where's the section where you live?
Probably the Mañanitas a la Virgen.
Aha, that's it.
Does that count?
It yes, it could be. But you know
What
what?
is,
Yes.
sorry, I just wanted to ask Emiliano, like, what do they do in that tradition in Xochimilco? What is it about? Because
You know,
I'm not familiar with that area, so.
well, I have heard something about that during the celebration of Day of the Dead, in Xochimilco, there is an impersonator of La Llorona. So in the
Wow.
lake, they go into the trajineras and they
Hmm.
make like a show about La Llorona. They tell the story and they have all of the effects to make the environment so scary. I think so. Don't you know anything about that, Emiliano?
Yes.
What is it?
Oh, what tradition I talk about?
The impersonator of La Llorona in Xochimilco.
Yes, but I remember in I don't know if it's a tradition, but for example, they have how to say ferias, fairs.
A fair or a festival.
Affair.
There's a festival, for example, of I don't know how to say fruta cristalizada,
Um,
Crystallized
crystallized
fruit.
fruits, yeah,
the
maybe.
crystallized fruits, and I don't know if it's a tradition, but it's the only place I know they made that kind of fruit, and every year, in 1 month, they put that fair in Xochimilco. Another about the tamales.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
when they elaborate a lot of varieties of tamales, and that's the tradition I remember in my city. Oh, there is another in November
What do
that
you mean by crystallized fruit?
it's fruit but with um, a syrup, and for
Okay.
example, there is a nopal crystallized,
Is
I
it
and
haven't seen
Oh,
I haven't seen one of those.
it's
crystallized
very
opal?
yes, crystallized nopal. It's
Wow.
looks like jelly, looks like jelly, but it's the nopal. I don't know what is the process they use to get that product, but it's sweet. The flavor is sweet. Um, and looks like a jelly. You know, you can find. I remember the apples crystallized. I think there is cucumber is crystallized. It's I think everything, all the
Eh,
fruits can be crystallized.
My
Oh, I
goodness,
see.
that's so delicious.
it's like the crystallized fruit isn't like the one that it's on top of the rosca de reyes.
No, that is the I. What's the name of that? That's
Right.
ate. Ah, but yes, yes,
No,
there is a ego. Yes,
the figs are crystallized, isn't it?
yes, it's like that,
Actually,
but
you mean like the ones that, like the candied apples, right? That I think
mm,
they sell on some
No,
of the
no,
it's
main
no,
like
no.
squares.
it's like the figs on top of rosca de reyes,
Yes, that like that, but all the fruits you can imagine. Uh,
and
Oh, I see.
also nopals.
yes, nopals is the most weird I see.
and
I
the
don't like it, but
nopals is
yes,
sweet, are sweet,
yes,
really.
My
yes,
goodness. I have never thought about it. I have never imagined that
yes, but the
nopals could be.
it's in Xochimilco, and I remember it's a
My
fair
goodness.
about, and you can find all the fruits crystallized. I don't know if that it's a tradition just of Xochimilco or it's part of other parts of Mexico.
Wow, beautiful. All right. Okay. Well, you know what? We could be talking and talking about Mexican traditions all night long, all week long, because there are, it is an enormous country full of culture and differences
Yes,
in ideology. So God bless Mexico.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
indeed.
All right. Well, I thank you so much for your attention, for your attendance, and of course for your participation. This class is extremely interesting, and I thank you so much. I really thank you.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank,
Also, I have a few
Nice talking to
questions.
all of you guys.
oh, thank
Yes,
you.
I
Oh,
have a few questions,
yes,
but I
Nick.
don't know if you are the one that could
Maybe. Yes,
help
yes.
me with that. Um,